recording from MSI. I'm recording on a different device. All right. So this past couple weeks, this whole month, I've been looking into a lot of pelvic floor information. And so we'll be talking a bit about lecturing a little while we're holding some of this stuff. So let's get into cat and cow. So come to all fours. And yes, if you do feel the urge to like go to the bathroom or something like that, that's totally natural. Okay, so first, just do inhale and a cow pose, exhale, cat pose. And do a couple of these. Inhale slowly, exhale, big, deep grounding breath. Inhale and exhale. Now, as you inhale, feel the sit bones on the back side of your body spreading. And then when you exhale and your chin comes to your chest, you're feeling the sit bones on your body pulling together. And we're all going to have different cues. Keep going with your cats and cows. There's different cues that will work for you. And what I'm discovering is some of them don't. And I'll throw a bunch of them at you while we're working on pelvic floor to see what sticks. Right now we're just warming up, so you don't have to be like, where's my pelvic floor? All right, place your left hand sort of in the middle of the mat. Reach up with your right. Inhale, exhale, thread it through. Just hover the shoulder. Inhale and exhale. We're just opening up the rib cage so we can do some of these breathing exercises that are coming up. And exhale. Inhale, raise your arm up. Exhale, thread it through. All right, and then we'll just thread the needle and we'll come down for a moment. You guys can still hear me okay?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, open back up. Inhale, reach for the sky. Hands down to the mat. Switch your hands, reach the left arm up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Thread and hover the left shoulder. So we're just kind of activating instead of falling into this twist. See if you can twist more using the oblique muscles as well as your rib cage and shoulder. Couple more. And the last one. Rest your shoulder down on the ground. Just rest and stretch the shoulders out. How are you guys feeling today?
Good.
Okay.
How are you?
Well, I hope you guys, or if you're watching the recording, that you're feeling well as well. Okay. And exhale. Inhale up. Raise the arm up. Reach, reach, reach. Back down. All right. So, first thing we're going to do, take a band, wrap it around your shoulders. Well, actually around your chest, not your shoulders. And you can hold it here at your chest level. Oops, someone else is joining. Hi, Tamra. Can you hear me, Tamra?
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
So we just warmed up with some cat and cow. So and then some opening shoulder reaches, and then threading the needle. So do a few of those on your own if you want, or you can just jump right in. So we're taking the band, wrapping it around our chest. Kind of tight here. Okay. And then what I was planning to do is just tie a knot like this in it, because the next thing I want to try, we're gonna sit on a Pilates ball or sit on a block. Can you guys see that? Um, like you're laying an egg. And you're gonna be putting the perineum, which is, the bottom of your between your legs, and putting your perineum on this ball. If you don't have a block or a ball, we've done this in class before, you can take a foam roller and you can straddle it. If this is too much on your knees, I don't really have a great option here, but if it's too much on your knees, you can try just sitting with your legs out. You want to feel your sit bones contacting something, right? So those are the two bony protuberances under your butt. So they should be touching something. All right, so we'll switch back to the Pilates ball. Okay. So you've been wearing this band. If it's not, just put it back around your rib cage. First, let's inhale here. So when you inhale, I want you to feel your ribs expand and push against the band. And when you exhale, and if you look carefully at the screen, you should see my chest is expanding and rising, collapsing inward towards center and kind of coming down to the floor. And keep breathing here. So that's what we're activating here is the rib cage, intercostal breathing. That's the rib cage. Rib cage is going to be, and right, giving you some visual aids here. And then now let's try the belly. So keeping the rib cage expansion, when you inhale, I want you to feel the belly pull in, like well, ideally you feel it through all 360 angles. Exhale, let your belly pooch out. We're exaggerating this so you can feel that belly exhale. Our society, keep going. Inhale, belly in. Exhale, belly out. Our society tells us we should have tiny waists and flat tummies, but really, like, our stomach is designed to, right? So on an inhale, I tighten it all up. But on an exhale, you want to let it go. Because what happens is then we're releasing all the pressure around our organs and then rebuilding that pressure on an inhale. So what I discovered, my personal story here, keep going with your breathing. What I discovered is I do the opposite. When I inhale, I let my belly out. When I exhale, I was basically holding it in. So we'll talk. I was finding that my breathing patterns aren't optimal, I guess. All right, so let's tap into pelvic floor. So you're sitting here. All right. So inhale, pelvic floor rises. Exhale, pelvic floor lowers. The pelvic floor is this nice, it's inside your pelvis. So you might feel your sit bones on an inhale. They come together. So so these are my sit bones down here. So inhale, and then exhale, expands. Another cue is on an inhale, you're kind of doing a Kegel and also pulling your butthole up, like in. And then on an exhale, you're kind of pretending like you're letting a fart out. It's all very visceral. So you're letting a fart out, right? And you're just like relaxing, like you're sitting on the toilet and you're letting it all go, but maybe not all go. You have to retain some amount of control. You might have heard the term anal retentive. So follow along with me. So Inhale is when we have effort, right? So inhale, rise up, and then exhale, let it all relax. Like an exhale, your diaphragm, and what I'm doing with the hands here is I'm mimicking the diaphragm. Inhale, squeeze, squeeze your sit bones together, hold it, and then exhale. You might even feel yourself kind of lift up off the ball. I don't want you actually lifting up with your knees, but you might feel yourself lift up, and then okay, we're not squeezing the glutes here. Glutes are not involved right now. Inhale and exhale. If it helps, maybe you can try a little bit of a pelvic tilt with it, because I find that that's, for me, it's helpful. So inhale. So I'm tilting my pelvis. If I wasn't sitting on the ball, it'd be, and then exhale, almost like sticking my butt out, letting my butt go out, spreading the butt cheeks. I'm so glad I'm recording this forever and ever. You guys can watch this forever and ever. All right. So we spent quite a bit of time on that. Um, let's see. We talked about this. Some of the other cues. Well, we'll try it while we're doing. So one thing you can think about too is now let's connect everything. So inhale, chest rises, belly in, pelvic floor pulls in towards center. Exhale, pelvic floor releases, belly comes out, chest lowers, and the rib cage expands. All right, all these things. There's a lot to think about, which is probably why our bodies can get really confused about pelvic floor work. Okay. The other thing you think about is like an elevator doors closing around your belly. So inhale, closing the elevator door. Exhale, opening, everything opens up, right? Another analogy is like the anaconda. So I think about, especially around my midsection, I'm like thinking about an anaconda squeezing, and it's not like a finite movement. It's a, you inhale and it keeps squeezing, squeezing, squeezing until it exhales, right? Some of you in Anna's belly dance class, she says like, well, and even in samba, you're not doing inhale, out, exhale, inhale, exhale. You're going inhale smoothly, feel your sit bones pull in, exhale, release the sit bones. Okay, I've kind of cued the crap out of that one. Let's go to the wall. So, oh, sorry, I should have said we were going to do something with the wall. Let me turn the screen here. So, if you don't have a place to lay on your back by a wall, do this. You can do this as a squat like this, a malasana squat. With a, I would recommend putting a block. Okay, so here's option one if you don't have. And then, if you do have a wall space, get yourself lined up like this. Get my legs about 90 degrees. And if you still have the band around your rib cage, great, keep it there. So, inhale, squeeze the sit bones together. Imagine the elevator doors closing. Exhale, releasing the sit bones, they widen. Now, if you are in the practice of doing a Kegel on an inhale, Kegel, not just the inner, vagina if you have one, but also your anus, the butthole. And exhale, release the butthole, release any farts. It's good that we're doing this at home. I know this is like the comedy hour. A couple times here. I'm not going to cue, I'm going to let you think about it in silence because my cues may not match up with your actual breath. So do a couple on your own. So subtle. So my sit bones pull in on an inhale and then widen on an exhale. You have any questions? Feel free. Like, what are you guys feeling?
It's weird to do it this way without the gravity pushing everything down. It's like just thinking about it differently.
Yeah, great feedback. That's what I guess that's why this is like training the brain to have conscious control over it. Um, it's interesting because the diaphragm that's under your rib cage is if you stop breathing, your body's going to override the brain and make you breathe, right? You can't hold your breath voluntarily for very long. So involuntary reflex kicks in. I don't know if there's a reflex for the pelvic floor, which is another diaphragm, because the pelvic floor is, maybe you can lose control of your bowels if you're really scared. Yeah, that would be involuntary, but we have pretty good voluntary control because we have to stop solids from coming out of our body. All right. Okay. So take that feeling with you to the next round of exercises. Oops. Okay. I think everyone who's joining has joined, so I'm going to change my screen up a little. Okay. Keeping the recording cut. All right. So if you have the ball, put it go up into bridge pose. We're doing our low abdominal series, which we've done in class. If you don't have a ball, you can take your foam roller and you can lay on top of it, or you can have a block. So, right? Inhale. Yeah. And exhale. Right leg is raising and tap. Raise and tap. Everything we do today, we're going to do with a breath. Inhale up. Exhale lower. Inhale up. Exhale lower. Switch legs, left. So while we're doing this, imprint the low back, press that low back into the mat. Inhale. When you exhale, let the lower abdominals relax.
Where should the ball be?
The ball is under the sacrum.
Okay.
So like a supported bridge. Yes. I'll also do this with a block. So keep going with the left leg. So if you're on a block, I'm on the smallest, shortest setting. Well, it's kind of dark, isn't it? All right, so we're still doing left leg, left lift, exhale, inhale, lower. All right, now bring both legs up to tabletop. Okay. Tuck the tailbone just a bit, but not over tucking, just a little bit. And we're leg changes, right leg, then left leg. Now move both legs at the same time. Inhale and exhale. The trick is using your pelvic floor and being conscious of it through all different kinds of movements. So we're doing everything a little bit slower today because it's so hard to consciously think about, I think, the pelvic floor. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, pull the sit bones in, and exhale, relax the sit bones. And all this while your legs are moving. Okay? Bring your legs up to the ceiling. And let's do a V. So we're making a circle with both feet out to the side to about a 30 or 60-degree angle, and then back up to perpendicular. Inhale. And if you're not sure what your pelvic floor should be doing, I'm not in conscious control either, but we're sending our goodwill and our awareness to it. All right, so inhale And exhale, release. Inhale. I'm letting my legs go a little bit past 90 to explore the hip movements. Here. And spread. Exhale. And inhale. Okay, pause somewhere either perpendicular at the top, whatever feels comfortable, and leg circles the other direction. My feet come down, spread wide, trace a circle, and then come down the center line. Wide. I don't know if you guys can hear my hips popping. Okay. Let's bring the right leg, right knee to chest. Left leg hovers. And switch. And switch. And switch. You can lift your head and neck a little bit. It's a little odd with the ball. Maybe it's not even possible. 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Okay, bring your feet down to the floor. Lift up, pull the block out from underneath the block or the ball. Okay, bring the block or the ball between your legs. And then check to see that, well, visualize where your feet are. Are they turned out like this, or are they parallel? We want them parallel and about hips distance apart. Squeeze the ball. Hands press into the mat. We're coming into inhale, half bridge. And exhale, the sit bones go wide. Inhale, elevator doors closing in your abs. And exhale, elevator doors open. This is a little different than a typical bridge where we might do a spinal roll up and a spinal roll down. On the roll down, I want you to think about hinging from your rib cage instead of rolling down vertebra by vertebra. So inhale, raise up, squeeze the glutes, hold it here, bring your heels towards your butt. Keep the inhale, squeeze your sit bones together using your glutes here. And lower, exhale, 1 unit. So this lower half here from the rib cage down to the hip is 1 unit today. So inhale, half lift, half bridge, squeeze the ball, and exhale, let the sit bones spread, let the pelvic floor relax. All right, let's do 5 more of those. So lift up, hold, squeeze the glutes, down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, squeeze the ball, exhale. Last one, inhale. I don't know if that was 5. Exhale. I should feel the glutes kicking in just a little bit. Roll yourself up to a seat. I've got some kind of talk up to an hour no charge. Okay. Oh, extend the call. Let's do this. Extend the call. Oh no, it wants me to pay. I think an hour. It should last for an hour. Okay. All right. We did bridge. Okay. Spread your feet out about hips distance apart. For now, I don't want this to turn into a quad activation, so bend your knees quite a bit. And then we're going into saw. So inhale, rotate. Exhale, reach for your right foot. Inhale, squeeze the sit bones together, and exhale back to center. relax everything. Inhale, squeeze your sit bones together. Exhale, rotate left. Actually, I'm cueing this backwards because I do this backwards. Inhale, relax, or squeeze the sit bones together. Exhale, relax everything back to center. Okay, so let's breathe here. Inhale, exhale, relax everything. Inhale, keep the twist. Exhale, relax. So think about one thing. Choose one thing to think about. It's either going to be your sit bones pulling together on an inhale and releasing on an exhale. Or it could be thinking about doing a Kegel on an inhale and relaxing on an exhale. Okay, so inhale here, breathe. Exhale, twist. Inhale, Kegel. Exhale, not Kegel. Inhale. All right, so twist and reach. Center, twist and reach, and center. So I'm having you do, let's see, it's exhale here. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach for your left foot and center. Kegel and relax. Kegel and relax. Okay, are your quads trying to kick in? Are they feeling stressed? So keep the knees bent a little bit more. All right, now we're twisting. We're going to do a double exhale. So exhale, inhale, relax. Exhale the other way. And relax. All right, just so I don't have my hoo-ha pointing right at the camera. Relax. Okay, tailbone draws together. Not tailbones, the sit bones. Spread. And spread. And spread. Shake out the legs. Couple more. Spread. Elevator doors. Squeezing close. Elevator doors, relax. Elevator doors, squeeze. And elevator doors, relax. Does it help to do the hand motions, Kayla? Yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, let's try it with the other hand motions. So exhale, lift. And lower. Go left, lift, and lower. I'm almost feeling like I'm squeezing my glutes, which is fine because we do want the glutes to help with some of this pelvic floor work, so your pelvic floor doesn't always have to do everything by itself. All right. Let's see. So the last seated exercise we're going to try, put the ball between your legs or the block again. We're going to try and do teaser or boat pose, but we're going to hold it long enough, so we're going to be in it for a little while. So put your hands behind your thighs. This is not about balancing, and it's not really even about so much core or strength, right? And it's kind of hard to see me because I've got black on black today, but I am squeezing the ball on an exhale, squeezing my sit bones together, and then relaxing my sit bones. And I'm even sitting up a little straighter. So squeeze and exhale, inhale. There's that backwards thing I do. Squeeze, exhale, inhale, relax. Okay, come back down. And let's do a happy baby rest. Okay, roll onto your back. If you've never done happy baby before, your knees are bent and your feet are bent as well. And you're shining your pelvic floor to the ceiling as much as you can. We're not, we don't want to put an excess flexion in the spine. So we're trying very hard to keep the tailbone, well, not the tailbone, the sacrum on the mat. And if that means I'm holding my knees instead of holding my ankles, do it. In fact, I think we tend to go into happy baby too aggressively. So I'm going to hold my knees. Exhale. Sit bones come together. Inhale. Sit bones, relax. If it helps, you can move your legs out too. So exhale, push your knees together. I'm pulling with my hands. And inhale, letting the sit bones spread. Be in this vulnerable position. Exhale. And inhale. Do you guys feel the elevator doors of your abdominals engaging on an exhale as well? If not, try to re-engage with that. Exhale. And inhale. Right. Do a few circles. You can do a little bit of low back release by rolling the knees around. Do whatever feels good in this position. And then when you're ready, meet me. Let's see, did I do what I wanted to do? Yes. Now we're going to add some twist to our practice and going into more yoga stuff. Okay. Change up my angles. All right. Inhale, stand at the top of your mat. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. I just realized I might have been, let me fix my mic, I might have been cueing things backwards. Yoga is so different than Pilates. Okay, place your hands on the mat. Step back into plank. Let's practice some pelvic floor activation here. So, inhale. I've been cueing it backwards. Exhale. Exhale is when you release everything, not the inhale. So, inhale, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your sit bones together. Try to activate your lower abdominals, and then exhale. Kind of let it release, but not so much that you arch into your low back. All right, holding. Okay, push it back into downward facing dog. Exhale. Stretch out your chest. Your heels may not be touching the floor, but try to guide them towards the floor so you can get a nice calf stretch, a little bit of a hamstring opening. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step it through. You're going into a low lunge. Check that your hips are square. Raise your arms up to the sky. So I'm stacking my back heel over my toes as best as I can. It might be here, or it could be stacked if you have the toe flexibility, which we talked about last week. Big toe extensor. So, right, big deep bend in the front knee. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lean forward. And exhale, twist towards your right knee. So, and here, you can place your left elbow on your right knee or just hold it. This is an active twist. Try to get the back leg a little bit straighter, but don't straighten it to compromise your balance. And exhale, release your hands to the mat. Toe heel your right foot out to the side into runner's lunge. Okay. You can drop the back knee and then I just kind of surf in and out of this, getting a little bit of hamstring stretch. We're kind of leaving the pelvic floor work aside, setting it aside for a minute, and just enjoying moving without thinking so much about it. All right. Step your right foot back to plank again. Let's do one inhale and exhale. Relax everything. Shift your weight to your left hand and go into side plank. If the shoulder's not ready for this, put your knee down. Your left knee will go down. Reach for the sky. And open up the chest. All right. Hands back to the mat. Step your left foot back. Plank again. One hold, one breath. Inhale. Exhale. And push back into downward facing dog. And a time check. Inhale, left leg rises high, and then step it through. Crescent lunge on the left. Okay. Come, bring your torso upright. Hands on their hips to check for square-ishness. Like we're never all going to be completely square, but we're trying not to open the hips to the side. We're trying to keep them square to the front of the room. Deep bend in the front knee, stacking the heel over the toes in the back. And then as you get warmed up in this, you'll see the knee can start straightening and you can maybe get a deeper bend in the front. Arms raise up to the ceiling and breathe here. On your exhale, relax everything. You relax as much as you can while engaging only the muscles you need to hold you up, right? So we don't have to keep the pelvic floor tight all the time. Hold, breathe one more time. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, torso leans forward, and exhale, twist. Again, I'm doing the twist where I'm not putting my elbow on my knee. I'm doing an active twist. You're gonna have to work harder for this, I think. This is my personal opinion. And breathe. Sink a little deeper into that front leg. Straighten that back leg just a little bit more. Hold. Exhale, release. Hands to the mat. Toe heel your left foot out to the side. Drop the right knee. And you can surf back and forth, or you can just stay where you're at. And some folks in runner's lunge, you can go down to your elbows. I'm not really focusing on the hips today, so I'm not going to go into my elbows. With the microphone, is my breath really loud?
No, it's fine.
Okay, so it's kind of filtered out. That's good. I want you to hear my breath, but I don't want it to be annoying. So.
Yeah. Okay. Only when you accentuate it can we hear it.
Only when what? When I accentuate it? Yeah. All right. Okay. Tuck the right toes. Step the left foot back. And then shift your weight to the right hand, side plank on the right. Option to drop to the right knee down. Open the chest to the sky and breathe. Exhale. Can you feel, just a quick check-in, right? Can you feel your sit bones? Inhale, draw together. Exhale. Relax. Okay. Hands back to the mat. Step the right foot into plank. One breath in plank here. and push back into downward facing dog. Stay in downward facing dog for a sec. All right, inhale. Exhale, look forward and step to the front of your mat. Okay. Sit back into chair pose. So come to standing and then sit back into chair pose. Okay. Arms are up, and I'm making a lightning bolt shape, right? So we're talking about using our pelvic floor in different situations in life, right? So we're inhaling, bringing the sit bones together. Exhale, relaxing the sit bones. So you might see inhale, a little like tightening. Exhale, a little bit of sticking the butt out a little bit more, but not exaggerating, right? We're not using the spine to do these movements. So hopefully you can see that. All right, hands up to the sky. Let's get a little back extension here. So draw the shoulder blades down and together. Exhale, hands to heart center. Come forward, inhale, and then active twist to the right. We're not going to hold it too long, so give it everything you've got. Are you breathing? And exhale, release your hands to the mat, straighten up the knees. We're stepping into gorilla pose, so step your feet, the soles of your feet, onto the insides of your hands. So I'm bending my feet. If that's too much, then just grab the big toes here and pull yourself down. We do gorilla pose to help massage out. We got the carpal tunnel. Our hands and our wrists do so much for us. And I'm just massaging my wrist crease with my toes. Relax your head down. All right, release the hands. If your feet are apart, bring them a little bit closer together again, and then sit back into chair pose. This is our last chair. We won't be doing any others, so give it everything you got. Sink deep. So I think it's Kayla. Bring your torso up more. You want to actually try and get your torso more vertical. It'll work your glutes much more too. Nice. Good corrections. All right, exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, torso leans forward. And exhale, twist with everything you've got. Couple breaths. Inhale, twist just a little deeper. And exhale, hands to the mat. Forward fold. We have 15 minutes, perfect, before the Google Meet shuts me down. All right, and then come to a seat. Now, if you have a booty band, now's a good time to use it. Or if you have ankle weights or something, we're going to do glute series, side lying. So land to your side. I am on my left side. You can mirror me. I'll try to make the cues non-directional to the left or right. Knees are bent at 90 degrees. Hips are also bent at 90 degrees. So the hips and the knees are always going to be a little bit higher than you think for most people because we tend to be down here. You know what? Let me try something. I don't have my mat. Can you see better? Okay. All right. Knee up and down. So fire hydrant. Now to find
the camera a little more down.
Down.
Yeah, like because there's buttons over your half your body.
Oh, okay.
At least for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see if that helps.
Yeah, that's good. Now
Thanks, Google Meet. Let's put the buttons where we need to see the workout. Better? Okay. Lift and lower. Squeeze the right glute at the top. Relax the right glute. Squeeze.
Are your knees at like a 90?
Yeah. Bends at 90.
Okay.
Yep. Hips at 90. Yes. And we're also trying to find, let's re-engage the core here. So elevator doors of your core, closing in. Exhale. And then see if you can find a little mouse hole here. I'm not smooshing my left side into the floor. I'm trying to keep this between my shoulder and my hip, some kind of suspension bridge going. Lift and lower. 5, 4, squeeze. 3, squeeze. 2, last one, keep it up. Now lift the heel, drop the knee. Drop the heel, lift the knee. Lift the heel. This is a brain teaser. Knee, heel down, knee up, heel up, knee down, heel down. So I'm leading with my knee right now. I think I am. Yes. The knee goes up first, heel goes up second. Knee goes down first, heel goes down. Okay, we're using, well, we talked a little bit about obturator and terminus, but we're using, and if you want to turn this into like a wave, you can try that. Should start feeling a burning now in your deep six muscles. I'm keeping my core engaged, or trying to while I'm talking. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, now here's the fun part. Heel up, knee up, heel down, knee down. Lift, heel, knee, heel, knee. Lift, heel, knee, lower the heel, lower the knee. 10, 9. It helps me that I can see myself in a mirror. 8. If I close my eyes. 7. It's a little harder. 6. It depends on really how your learning style. I think we're at 5. Okay, so let's try and smooth it out. The heel is leading. 4, 3, 2. How you guys doing?
The burn.
The burn, yeah.
I had to take my band off.
I know. I got this band that's okay. Lift both legs and just activate your oblique muscles here. We're using a little bit of the inner thigh muscle too of the bottom leg. I'm just hovering, hover, hover, hover. Okay. I got the set, and I can only ever use light and medium. Now we're lifting and lowering, hovering though. The heavy one feels totally impossible. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last lift and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, guys, good job. All right, roll onto your other side. Make sure you can still see the camera. If you need to stretch or do anything, I think we're gonna have time for some good half pigeon stretches. So don't worry, that's coming. Okay, knees are bent, hips are bent. Just doing fire hydrant. Find the core engagement in the center. Okay. Pause for a second. Let's find, there's like a sling. My shoulder is contacting the floor, my hip is contacting the floor, and in the middle, I'm trying to lift. I'm not doing an active lift, but I'm trying to make sure I'm not squashing my right side into the mat. All right, now that we've reset. Okay, back to the fire hydrant. Squeeze the left glute. Squeeze. Ooh, there's a ball back there covering the butt. And squeeze. I tend to do the second side faster with maybe fewer repetitions. So we'll see. Let's hold ourselves accountable. All right. And squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. All right, hold. Now the knee drops, then the heel. Knee lifts, heel lifts. Oh wow, my range of motion is quite different on this side. I don't always do the exercises with you, but with virtual you have to. So knee down, heels touch. Knee up, heels apart. Down, up, down. You guys noticing a difference on one side versus the other?
Yeah. I didn't even range with motion with the left hip, so it's like it feels like you can do anything.
Yeah, and then this side for me feels like, oh God, why is it? It just feels like a physical restriction. Huh? All right, let's smooth it out. 5, 4, 3, 2, and whether or not I'm using my pelvic floor or not, I'm not really sure. I mean, to be honest, like a lot of us, it could take a year of constant study. That's what some of folks are saying to get in touch with their pelvic floor. Um, so now let's switch to the heel. Heel lifts, then the knee lifts. Heel down, knee down. Okay. And you might notice that, the glutes are kind of involved, but there's some deeper, weird little intrinsic muscles. Mine aren't burning yet, but yours might be. So, are you guys getting a burn?
Oh, yeah.
You are? Okay. So, my little trick for why I don't count is I do it until I start to feel failure, or I start to see the class start to, get a little tired or give up on things. And then when we reach that point where we're starting to feel a little bit of failure, we do 5 more. 5, so now let's smooth it up. 4, heel lift, knee, heel down, knee down. 3, 2, keep the core engaged here. Don't let it flop to the ground. 2, and last one. Okay. Was that weird or what? Straighten the legs out. And let's hover. I find that my obliques on this side are weaker too. So what lovely about Pilates is awareness. So I'm hovering, awareness of your body, and then we're also engaging those weaker muscles. Now lifting both legs. You'll see mine is smaller. 10, 9, 8, 7. Feel your obliques firing. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, we're gonna hover and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lovely. All right, relax down. Come to a seated position. Let's grab the ball again and sit on it. I'm gonna change this camera angle a little bit. Oh, crap. Give me 1 second here. All right, I'm back. I got my laptop screen closed. Okay. So we're sitting on the ball again. If I can't get the camera working. See if the pelvic floor feels any different or more accessible. And I might have cued it wrong in the beginning. So it's the exhales when we relax. So inhale, exhale, inhale, squeeze the sit bones together. Exhale, sit deeper into it. If you want, you can put your hands on your sit bones back here. You can kind of see it in the mirror. Inhale, pull together. Exhale, let them feel apart. Let's do 3 more. Can you feel your sit bones kind of spreading and releasing? Now bring your awareness to your belly. Just a couple of breaths here in the belly. Inhale, tighten everything up. Exhale, belly comes out. So I just caught myself doing it backwards. Inhale, belly in. Exhale, belly out. Now bring your hands to the rib cage. You might still have this band here. If you have the band, maybe like tighten it back up around your rib cage. So inhale, rib cage expands out. Exhale, rib cage descends. Inhale, diaphragm pulls up. Exhale, spreads everything out. Yeah, so when I'm doing my rib cage, I forget about my pelvic floor. When I'm doing my pelvic floor, I forget about my core, everything. So yeah, it takes time. And we've recorded this so you can watch it and try to review it and then or find all the places where I messed it up and cued it the wrong way. And now you'll know. All right, let us go into a half pigeon. So come into a half plank pose. Okay, and then bring your right knee to your right elbow. And so I think in 2 minutes we're gonna get not cut off on the call, but that's okay. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys here, but let's stay in half pigeon. Find any stretches you want. If you're ready, you can come down to your forearms. Hopefully I have time to explain this, but your pelvic floor can be either overly tight, we call it hypertonic in massage therapy speak, overly tight, and so it's engaged all the time, and there's never any release, and that can affect your mobility, cause your other muscles to have to work hard to compensate for the pelvic floor not being able to expand and contract. Okay. And if you're feeling good about this hip, come to, oh, well, for the ones in the recording, we got knocked off the call. Switch to the left leg. So you can have a hypertonic, overly tight pelvic floor, but then you can also have one that's lax, that doesn't fire, some sort of like muscle amnesia. And so what we want is the ability to both tighten and relax. Tighten and relax. So if you're on your left leg, you can come to your forearm. You can also change up the angle of your half pigeon. All right. Come back to a plank pose. Let's do one more inhale. Tighten everything up. Bring the glutes together. Tail the sit bones together. Exhale, release the sit bones. And come to a seat. I apologize for the ones who were online live with me. We got kicked off, but bring your hands to heart center. I hope you have a lovely week ahead of you. Let's bring our fingers to forehead and have while all the world is going crazy, we will have kind and loving thoughts, kind and loving communication, and kind and loving intentions. Thank you very much, class.